いうのが LJL でも屈指のレーニングそして集団性を誇るであろうと予測されてますから。
And for the side of Rascal Jester, we do have, of course, Gog on in the top lane. We have Hachimecha in the jungle. We have Ninja in the mid lane. We have Art on ADC and Vivid at support, led by Coach Savage. And we do see, once again, a familiar face of bans coming through. Elise and Set banned away from on the side of Sengoku Gaming. Now we do see actually Rascal Jester banning the Akali, but also committing a ban for the Aphelios. Does not want to, isn't going to risk Sengoku Gaming locking that in first. With Set banned away, one of the key trading pieces, often given back and forth, is banned away. You do have, with Sengoku on the red side, they will have the first opportunity to take one of those pieces. And as they ban Set, they do force out the ban of the Aphelios from Rascal Jester. They also choose to ban the Soraka away. Don't want to deal with the solo queue menace and just overall healing that Soraka top offers. And Rumble is going to be locked over for Appaman. On the side of Rascal Jester, we do see a very swift lock of Jarvan for the jungle for Hachimecha. And now, Hachimecha does have a choice. They do have to... We'll see where they decide to commit their next pick. Misfortune available, one of the two premier ADCs right now. And this does put the position for Sengoku Gaming of they may feel now that they have to lock something in equally now that the misfortune is given over. And Ornn hovering over at the moment. The Rumble could be put into the mid lane if this Ornn is put through, and it looks like it might. That it is. So Pyrian will be on the Rumble, while Blank will be piloting the Ornn into the top lane. And that is going to be, I believe, the first Ornn we will be seeing hit the rift for the LJL. Senna, of course, locked in for the side of Sengoku Gaming. Does not want to see that getting banned away in the second round. And Rascal Jester picks themselves up Mordekaiser for the top lane of their own. Now, with support still to be picked from the side of from both sides, Sengoku Gaming also has a jungle pick to worry about. Possibly the Lee Sin ban, fair expectation, and we've seen 2 Lees so far today, and we will see possibly also the Rek'Sai ban coming out from the side of Rascal Jester, while Sengoku can throw a little bit more bans at this mid lane if they so decide. They have their mid laner picked and can try to choke out Ninja's champ pool just a bit. But we will see the Leona banned out from the side of Rascal Jester. Or, excuse me, banned away from the side of Sengoku Gaming. Rascal Jester wondering where they want to commit their second ban. They could throw it at the support pool if they so decide. They do have first pick on support, but it will be going towards that Rek'Sai in the jungle. Trying to just put the onus on Blank that he may not be able to play a champion that can keep up with a Jarvan in his jungle priority. Nautilus ban will come out. Blitzcrank and Thresh both still available. Braum also still available for the side of Rascal Jester. The Aatrox being hovered now could still have play here. Could be sending the Mordekaiser possibly into that mid or top side if they would like to lock it in, and they will. The Mordekaiser possibly going into the mid lane while we will have the Aatrox locked in on the side of Rascal Jester, holding the support pick just a bit. As now Sengoku Must lock there, 2 picks. Hovering the Olaf. Olaf has had a very good showing in solo queue as of late. Not a great showing in pro play, but Period going to pick himself up the Zoe for himself, and they still have to hover over the jungle position. They still have to wonder what they're going to be taking into the Jarvan. Hovering the Olaf once again. They do have that opportunity available to them, and it looks like the Kiana is going to come through. Kiana, as of 10.2, did have a slightly nerfed jungle, does have a slightly less attack speed to make her clear a little bit slower, but can be very deadly with even one kill, even with just 1 or 2 kills over to the Kiana. She does have the opportunity to start pressuring a lot, and we do see the Thresh locked in for the side of Rascal Jester. We will actually see now that the orange support is going to be coming out for the side of Sengoku Gaming, while Zoe in the mid lane and Rumble for the top side. Excuse me, Rumble support. Bit of a mix-up. Rumble support actually has been picking up a decent bit of popularity, though, so not exactly a terribly surprising pick. I believe we saw it in the LEC first, I believe is where it made its debut. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that Rumble support has been growing in popularity as of recent.
しっかりと3名揃えることができていますし、そこを補助するかのようなスレッシュも取れてますから、うまくエイトロックス、モルデカイザーを序中盤崩れないように育てさせて、中盤以降の集団戦というのを狙っていくというのが重要になってきますね。いや、ただ、戦国ゲーミングのこのサポートランブルというピックがどう出るのかというところですね。
Now we see once more the lineup from both Sengoku Gaming and Rascal Jester.
序盤ビルドが整わないと、いかにアルティメットを覚えたとしてもダメージ不足に陥ってしまいますからね。ボットへの主導権からアルティメットによるファイトの強さを生かしていかないといけない。
Now for the side of Rascal Jester, you do have a lot of members with some you do have a pretty aggressive front line. You do have the Mordekaiser and the Aatrox alongside Jarvan to try and push forward, try and take as much room as they possibly can, and control that area as they just snowball forward. Of course, Jarvan and Aatrox both very good at moving fights forward, and with the Cataclysm available, does give Misfortune room to free fire with that bullet time. On the side of Sengoku Gaming, of course, you do have great engage from that Braum ulti alongside Blank to hopefully try and find Art out, throw in a lot of damage. Pyrian will be just, of course, throwing damage out alongside the Senna. Just can be chucking a lot of spells, a lot of poke. Although you do have beefy members on the side of Rascal Jester, there is a lot of poke damage available to them. Also, with the J4 Cataclysm available, you'd also have to worry about the Rumble ulti burning down and turning that box into an oven very quickly. We can see Rascal Jester poising here, trying to see if they can get any vision in, but spotted out by a couple wards from Enti. Ooh, and while Enti's actually going to commit a ward there, they are going to knock it down, and looks like they are going to invade for this red buff. Knows that Kiana does struggle in the early few levels, so Hachimecha can kind of use that early game advantage to try and see if he can steal away as many camps as possible. Pyrian pushed up very, very far. Looks like Hachimecha is going to go for an early gank. He does have Blank there for him. We'll see if they can try and commit anything for it, but it does look like both teams are just going to kite that one out. Hachimecha going immediately to secure his red buff. Does not want to let Blank take anything more after getting the invade off on the red side. And now in this bot lane, you do have a decent bit of poke to worry about from the side of Sengoku Gaming. You do have, of course, any glacial augment procs from Senna will lead into the slow from the Braum E. And there actually are a lot of opportunities here for Sengoku Gaming, but Rascal Jester finding a hook from Vivid and a decent chunk onto Enti are getting the press the attack proc off, gets him down to about 2/3 HP. Hopefully trying to make Enti second guess throwing those E's as willy-nilly as he may like. With both junglers looking towards this bottom side, Blank is going to be spotted out, immediately queuing the counter from Hachimecha. Although he does not have the mana for an EQ combo, so he is going to actually be forced to back and give Blank over his Scuttle Crab in the bot side. Now Cog does have a bit of a lane that he can try and be aggressive on, but we do know how much damage Ornn is able to do, and with his scaling passive giving him more armor and magic resist as time goes on, it's only going to get harder and harder to try and knock down that Ornn. Ooh, and the E commit from Ninja is going to make Pyrion have to offer up his flash. Doesn't want to get pulled into an EQ, locked up, and then an EQ combo from Hachimecha. They'll happily run him down across the mid lane. Now with Pyrion, no flash available to him, we'll have to second guess how far up mid he decides to play. Vivid trying to find some hooks, trying to just see what he can throw out, but it's very difficult to walk up to this bot lane. Cog going for some trade, trying to just see if he can tag on some extra damage and taking a bit of his own in exchange, but he now does have Hachimecha coming up, and Oppaman going to quickly just back away, knows that the Jarvan is right there waiting for him, ready to catch him out if he decides to stay for a little bit too long. And Blank taking a back before he ends up wandering into a Jarvan himself. And we do see a small CS lead coming out from Pyrion. Pyrion able to just kind of find some poke here and there. Playing so far up in the lane does get himself a small CS advantage, but now with his flash down, we will have to see if he's able to retain that CS lead after the loss of pressure of not being able to keep that flash available to him. And he moves up quickly to put a ward down onto that Cloud Drake. With Cloud as the first Drake, there is a likelihood that the Soul is going to be a valuable one. Of course, Cloud Soul, commonly regarded as one of the weaker souls, does not always offer the movement speed, not always offering a ton to every member of the team. But with Cloud being the first soul, the ultimate CDR does of course help, especially with the Aatrox and with the bullet time from Art, can be very good team fight tools to start moving and tearing through team fights. Vivid throwing the hook, but Enti quickly just running back into the safety of the minion wave. Although, speaking of minion waves, Art and Vivid do have a very just large minion wave. Enti trying to burn it down a little bit as Yutori Maniesh tries to see if he can run forward a bit, trying to see if he can tag up some damage, while in the top lane, Cog is finding himself on the better end of a fight. Now back to the bot lane as Art is getting pulled in by Vivid. His flashes forward, trying to see what he can find, but might be biting off a bit more than he can chew. He does get the hooks over. Pyrion gets himself pulled in and queued by Ninja, but they will be kiting out towards the top side. Art low on mana, not able to commit too much to this fight. Maybe a Q, doesn't have his W available to him, and at that point it feels like Vivid might have been going a bit too hard. You do see all the members of Sengoku Gaming ready to rotate, ready to fight it out, while Art is trying to follow up for the damage. It felt like Sengoku Gaming were able to play towards that tri-brush, play towards where their team was located, and it can be very scary, especially once Blank starts posing towards 6. Now we'll see towards his top side. Kogcog decides he's going to commit for the fight, as a W is going to guaranteed connect. He commits the ulti. Opperman tries to call in his ult to see if he can buy himself some time to get away, but it's not enough. Vivid flashing forward onto Blank. Tries to throw a hook onto Blank, but Blank kites down and ends up hitting Pyrian instead. And at that point, Thresh finds himself far too damaged and not close enough as NT is playing towards that bottom side. You can see how Sengoku kind of wrapped around that bottom river entrance and just moved forward from there. Puts Rascal Jester in a position where they cannot afford to fight due to the lack of mana on Art and how quickly Vivid commits forward and ends up getting burned down for it. But with the kill going over to Pyrian, will possibly be a hassle for Ninja to deal with. Already having played so aggressively in lane. Ooh, and Blank might find himself on a bad end here, getting rotated on by Ninja. The EQ doesn't quite connect, but we do see Yutori Mayesh using his ulti to try to keep his team healed up, but Blank is going to go down to Art, dragging all the way down the river, finds himself clearing wards where he shouldn't be. Hachimecha and Ninja both in a position to just catch him out and run him down the river, but also securing themselves the Drake in the process. And now the hard part for Blank is he is that much further from getting towards 6 and where the champion can really come alive. We do know that Kiana needs those kills, needs that ability to just turn team fights, especially in the river. These small skirmishes can be quickly snuffed out by a good Kiana ult, but not quite able to find the farm to get there just yet. Now, Kogcog clearing out the wave in the top lane. One solo kill under his belt makes him feel fairly confident in the lane, but we do see a CS advantage from Opperman in spite of the early kill. And the blue buff is going to be going over to Pyrian here, continuing his oppression onto this Mordekaiser in the mid lane. Opperman is going to get pulled back again by the W. Kogcog this time deciding he's not going to commit his R, doesn't exactly know where the enemy jungler is just yet, and doesn't want to overcommit to something biting off more he can chew. But now we have the issue. Art unloading onto Yutori Mayesh. Vivid not able to find the hook and not able to find the auto attacks into the shroud means that Yutori Mayesh will be able to walk away, but might be walking right into the Jarvan. The Cataclysm not coming down yet, waiting for the flash or for the Zanyas, and is going to be able to get one. Yutori Mayesh not having Zanyas or not having flash available. No, actually, great hold of the Cataclysm from Hachimecha. Now, once you're just in that position, you can see the Senna walking up to you alone. That is a quick kill from great positioning and great awareness from Hachimecha, while Blank on the top side is going to try and grab the Rift Herald as a little bit of recompense. Kogcog now finding himself in the pit, going to be kind of engaged in a 2v3 skirmish here as the ult comes through, is going to burst down Kogcog fast enough, and now this fight is going to go somewhat poorly for Ninja and Hachimecha if they decide to stay too long, but they managed to get in and they managed to get back out. Kogcog a little bit too ambitious coming over the wall there. He knows he has Opperman in the top side, and he knows that Blank is, or he's assuming that Blank is already on the objective there. Can be a somewhat of a questionable decision to try and force the fight there before Hachimecha is able to show up and answer. Finds himself on the end of a 1v3 that turns into a 2v3 shortly after, but Ninja is not in a position that he can really try and fight it out. He has very few combat stats available to him at the moment, while Pyrian is finding himself his first item completion and is 1-0-1 so far. Now, Rascal Jester's strength is, of course, pushed towards the spot lane, and Kogcog doesn't need to be careful about giving up too much of his own strength in the top side while going for plays like that. Blank and Enti roaming around the river, seeing what they can find, trying to just keep the vision security down here. making sure that Yutori Mayashi is not able to be pressured too hard in the spot lane.
ファーストアイテムに積んで、ロームのスピードというのを確保しながらダメージを確保していく。
Actually has a small level advantage as of right now. Ooh, and the hook comes out, but not able to land just yet. Vivid throwing hooks. Empyrean going in a bit onto Ninja. Is he going to have the damage to kill? No, not quite. With Unsealed Spellbook and without the Electrocute available to Empyrean, he is not going to have the damage to just quite knock down Ninja. But he is going to get a good chunk off, going to be able to pressure him off of the wave and start knocking down these turret plates. While Blank throws him a Rift Herald, gets him a little bit of extra gold. We'll see a few more turret plates falling over to Sengoku Gaming. And now, Blank's ulti pushing him right into the wall, combined with NT's ulti, is going to burn down Vivid very quickly. Now we rotate to the top side as Cogcog is going in on Opperman, is going to commit his ult. Opperman with the E to get away, but Cogcog not able to quite go forward. The Q slow going to be a little bit too much to try and make sure he can stay on Opperman long enough to attempt to dive him under turret. Oh, and the E sniping past the blue buff is going to find his way onto Hachimecha, and Art trying to use the bullet time to just keep everyone away from his friends, but Hachimecha is going to go down. A beautiful E from Pyrian, barely avoiding the blue buff and finding his way onto Hachimecha is actually a great way to find that kill, and this is Pyrian running away with this slightly 1-0-3, but finding himself the enemy blue, finding himself almost a solo kill, a bunch of turret plates, and then the kill onto the jungler. Pyrian is now level 11 in this game, alongside Opperman. We'll watch this one more time as this fight kind of breaks down. We know that Kion is in that bush, but did not seem like Vivin was well aware, and Hachimecha forced to EQ away. Just a very quick ult combo from the side of Sengoku Gaming is just a swift way for that skirmish to end very quickly. Now Hachimecha greeding out a bit for this blue buff. He knows he lost player advantage on that side of the map already. Shouldn't have been there. And once Sengoku Gaming realized that he was playing too eagerly for that blue buff, they were ready to punish, ready with the EQ combo, and with Blank engaging on them. Now, Rascal Jester does kind of need to be careful here. They seem to be putting themselves in multiple positions where they're just not able to fight the fights that they want. They will just have a member up too early, and it's just dropping their numbers, and they're slowly giving away kills to Sengoku Gaming. While they do have the Drake, they're losing gold advantage now just due to these silly deaths. And now Sengoku Gaming looking towards this Drake, looking to secure a bit more vision before they make an attempt. But their team fight is very strong, and Rascal Jester does have to worry about that. They do have to worry about the ult combos, especially now as Opperman is looking to roam down and possibly engage on that TP available to him if he so desires with the Ornn ult, with the Rumble ult. You have a lot, and the Kion ult. These river fights can go very quickly, or can go south very quickly for Rascal Jester as they now start up the Drake. They do have, it does seem that Sengoku has a positioning advantage. Pyrian able to free fire some damage. We do see the teleport coming out from Sengoku onto the top side. The dragon gets burned down by Hachimecha, but that is also going to cost him his life. Ornn ult committed by Opperman. No knockups available to him, but Art is going to be burned down from it due to the death sentence of the Senna ulti, and that is Art going down as well alongside Vivid to Opperman. And one more sleep landing onto Ninja could be curtains for him as well. Opperman just standing there, tanking the turret in case they want to go for the dive. He's holding the minion wave, holding the turret aggro. He's like, I got it, guys. You are ready to go for it if you so choose. But Pyrian and NT decide it's not worth, don't want to commit too far. Know that Ninja has the ult available on Mordekaiser to just turn that into a 1v1 if he so desires. Now we'll watch this one more time. Hachimecha looking to kind of secure this Drake, but Blank goes in very quickly to try and contest it. Is immediately going to blow up Hachimecha, and Opperman trying to get the ult off, only gets one knockup. Pyrian missing his Q on the follow-up, but Blank flashing forward for a huge chunk onto, or excuse me, not flashing, Wing forward onto the huge chunk onto Art, and that is going to be him going down while Opperman finds the Thresh on the top side. And Rascal Jester immediately starting up another objective, trying to just claw away here at these big objectives. But you have to wonder, is it really worth it? And Ninja might be losing his life for it. Hachimecha goes in just to try to peel him away, but Ninja is going to go down to Period. Now Hachimecha in the hurt box, and the Rumble ulti carving a path through this fight. Now they still have the Rift Herald available. It hasn't reset, as I say that it does, but the ult pushes Vivid into the wall, and the explosion surrounding them is going to rout Rascal Jester. And again, these Rascal Jester desperate attempts at objectives is just costing them when Sengoku Gaming has drafted for the team fight. They have the superior team fight, and it doesn't feel like Rascal Jester is able to isolate and able to pick apart Sengoku Gaming enough for these fights to go their way. That is actually going to be now the Rift Herald going over to Sengoku Gaming. That is, they are 2 for 2 on the Rift Heralds. As Opperman now trying to see if he can knock down the top lane turret and open up this map a bit further. And you can now begin to see how these fights are costing Rascal Jester. But we'll watch it one more time. We see Ninja getting chunked out immediately at the start of this fight, limping away, but has to try to stay close enough. Does get the EQ onto Pyrian, but is way too low HP for how much damage Pyrian does. And we'll see Opperman gets in with the E, knocks a few people up. Blank is now going to come over the wall with the ult, flashes to make sure he gets onto Vivid there, and Hachimecha limping away. EQ's out for safety as he tries to just grab himself some chickens for an extra healing. But look at the item advantages for the side of Sengoku Gaming. Even in the top lane, the lane that Kakog was winning earlier in this game, is now finding himself a full item behind. Just all the way across, we're seeing full item advantages for Sengoku Gaming, as now they find themselves almost 5k gold differential between them and their opponents. Now with Baron up in 20 seconds and Mountain up in another minute, we do have the issue now pressing down Rascal Jester. As if they want to play aggressively for these objectives, how are they going to work around these team fights? How are they going to position and move members of Sengoku Gaming around to make sure these fights go their way? And Ninja, speaking of things not going his way, now has to try and escape over towards the top side, runs out of the Rumble ulti, and looks like he might be able to get out. Sengoku Gaming giving him a bit of respect, knowing that he can pull them out to the Death Realm and doesn't want to let either of those level 9s run up against the big, beefy level 13 Mordekaiser. But you know who is willing to fight that out is Period, now looking to just harass and knock down turrets in Ninja's face. Ninja not able to stand up to the Zoe, not able to stand up to the damage, opting for the second item Rabadons, as Period is just now forcing the issue, just loading up on damage, knowing that for the most part, Period has been uncontested. Other than EQs from Ninja, it does not feel that Rascal Jester has been able to get damage where it needs to go. It just felt like the engage tools on the side of Sengoku Gaming have dictated the game pace entirely, and has certainly dictated the pace of these fights. You can see here by the gold graphs, gold leads all the way across for the side of Sengoku Gaming as they secure themselves a Mountain Drake as well, keeping Rascal Jester away from that Soul Wincon. Hachimecha kind of being a little bit cheeky, going for this Drake, knows he has Vivid with the lantern to pull him out. And as we sort of reset to neutral, we will see Sengoku Gaming moving up, kind of securing more of the vision. You may have lost the Rift Scuttler, and that may mean that you're not quite able to just, start the Baron, and, not able to deny all of the vision, but now dropping the Rift Herald into the mid lane. The timer, of course, will tick down. Don't want to lose the ability to just use it, but does not seem that they're in perfect position for this. Although, with most of Rascal Jester coming down the mid lane, we'll just get a huge chunk onto the turret, but nothing too significant. Opperman nowhere near, so they're not trying to take any fights, knowing that Opperman can kind of shove up the mid lane. They are losing a turret, or they are losing a wave to the turret in topside, but as it stands right now, Sengoku Gaming seems much more pressed to force the issue on this mid lane. And Rascal Jester not able to contest at the current moment. They're not able to just push in and try and knock down, or they're not able to push in and fight. It doesn't seem like they're in any position to fight, but they're not able to pick these fights off. And now the issue is becoming Sengoku has the better team fight, and Rascal Jester does not seem to have the ability to pull everyone around as much as they want. But as I say that, Ninja finding himself right on top of Pyrion is going to eat a sleep that is going to deny any further advancement. But Opperman trying to run away from Cogcog, knowing that he has the R to move himself forward, but Cogcog not able to commit all the way onto him. Is going to back up, retreat to the minion wave, take that out. I would almost feel that if in the position of Rascal Jester, you would want to try and commit to that. You would want to try and keep these fights going, because they're not netting a whole lot for in the top or bot lane. In these solo lanes that should be strong for them, it feels like they're being beaten at their own game. And Rascal Jester just poking away at the vision here, trying to see what they can secure, trying to deny any vision too deep into that red side. The deeper the vision goes, the easier it is for Sengoku Gaming to threaten that Baron. And we do see now yet another blue buff going over to Pyrion. The gold on Pyrion is just growing, and the early Rabadon's upgrade from the Ornn onto the Zoe is just going to start pressing these. Now with Opperman reaching this level 14 period, the gold advantages and the just raw stat advantages is just going to grow for Sengoku Gaming. And as it stands right now, it does seem that Rascal Jester is trying to just stay close to this Baron, trying to deter Sengoku from starting anything they shouldn't be allowed to, but they don't have a whole lot of ability to contest at the current moment. Not a lot of tanky members, save for the Ornn on the side of Sengoku. So taking this Baron can cost them too much HP and or could give Rascal Jester the opportunity if they get too greedy for it. A small game of chicken coming out from each side as they're just waiting to see who's going to make the first move. Now with Mountain Dragon coming up in 45 seconds, you do wonder, is Sengoku Gaming just going to take the safe bet and try and see if they can just grab one more Drake for themselves? Which for the Ornn, which the Ornn is of course happy to see, the extra resistance stats he's going to be picking up is just going to make him that much more difficult to deal with, even for Cogcog. Hachimecha trying to secure a little bit more vision, immediately trying to get out of there, is going to get hit up by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but Hachimecha EQs out to safety, gets himself out of engage range, or out of the damage range of the Zoe. You can see here the vision control is just growing and growing from Sengoku Gaming, as now they can completely dictate the pace of the game. They opt for one more Mountain Soul just to try and secure a little bit more, just some extra free gold in the pocket, and they lose nothing for it. And it seems like Sengoku Gaming is currently content to just spend some time grabbing objectives, spend some time just clearing waves. You're not losing anything. There's nothing too pressing for them on the board right now. So they are happy to take this as their ideal game pace.
さずに、ドレイクを2つ取ったとしても、ラスカルジェスターとしてはむしろ
The onus is currently on Rascal Jester to try and make plays. And with the succinct lack of vision, we're getting closer to Sengoku Gaming having the opportunity to just rush down the objective.
いう状況になっていると思うんですね。むしろ嫌なのはバロンを強制的に起こされてフリーでバロンを取られてダイブされること、もしくはバロンファイトを起こされることだと思いますね。
The Baron dance is a fickle one. As both teams just try and stay within the shadows, but get just close enough that they know they can sniff anything out in case either team tries to hard commit for the Baron.
相手がレーンに見えたのを確認してから自陣ジャングルのワードを消しているというのはかなり大きいですね。
But with both Appaman and Kong Kong in the bot lane still, both of them teleports available. Don't imagine Sengoku Gaming will be taking any team fights soon. You might as well wait for the Orin ulti. Add one more piece to the list of combos currently available to Sengoku Gaming's team fight.
すぐさまウェーブをプッシュして相手のジャングルに入っていきます。さあそしてここでスリーバブルが当たったが、これはドラゴンストライクのブリンク間に合っている。
じゃあバンデレバいい機のブリンクがあります。さらにスレッシュが近くにいる状態であればランタンでの救出というのもありますが、それ以外の状況、それ以外のメンバーが当たってしまうとほぼデッドですね。
And as we see here, Sengoku Gaming is moving that vision lineup, and Rascal Jester is not able to contest. Slowly but surely moving their pink wards up, moving their vision control up, and that is going to be another chunk of damage onto Hachimecha. Just as he tries to desperately walk up just to get any semblance of vision down. This may be Sengoku's opportunity to knock down the Baron if they so choose. They're going to walk away. They're not going to put pressure too much. It seems that as though Sengoku Gaming has the opportunity to do Baron, but they're looking to see if they can win a team fight first. Doesn't want to risk 50-50ing it, doesn't want to risk having to deal with the Baron damage on top of the extra damage, or on top of the fight with Rascal Jester. Instead, content to play it slow and just keep throwing the spells, see if Pyrian can find any kills, pick up anything. Although Rascal Jester is doing a good job of just picking up the camps, even that are in contention on that side of the map. We did see that Ninja picked up the Krugs in the top side. We did see that Art and Hachimecha picked up the chickens in that red side. Still contested, but they managed to pick up the gold. So they know that if Sengoku Gaming wants to, besides clearing the lane, wants to match the gold that they are getting from the jungle, they would have to back up, and in those moments, Rascal Jester will be looking to re-establish their vision over in the Baron pit. And as I say it, you can see now, Sengoku Gaming is backing off. They're grabbing their jungle. They're just taking gold that's on the map available to them. And then immediately, Rascal Jester is clearing out the vision, moving it just a little bit closer to that Baron, giving themselves more breathing room. Although the item advantage is maybe in Sengoku's favor, Rascal Jester does seem to be putting up enough of a fight, or enough of a threat, that Sengoku Gaming is not able to just start the Baron as much as they would like. And now, with Yutori Mayesh in the bot lane, clearing out the waves, it looks like they will be playing for the Mountain Drake next. You can see by the gold graphs here, just a steady, slow climb from Sengoku Gaming. But now they're at a precarious position of they don't seem ready to force the issue. They don't seem ready to try and find these fights, as now they're looking just for their third Mountain Drake. Could possibly even just be playing for souls, taking the safe route, playing it safe and playing it slow. Of course, Sengoku Gaming does have the scaling and potential of both Senna and the late game item value coming out from Appaman on the Ornn.
いう可能性もありますが、依然として広告選手、忍者選手、アート選手、しっかりとファームが取れている現状というのは少し気がかりですよね。
さあドラゴンソウルにリーチをかける3ドレイク目は獲得。
I will say, for the side of Sengoku Gaming, this does almost feel like it almost feels like they're playing a little bit too hard to have all of the pieces lined up. They're just missing one or two here or there so that they can start this Baron. But as I say that, Hachimecha wanders a little bit too close, and they may have waited long enough, as now Hachimecha is going to go down, sniped by the Senna R. And that is going to be jungler dead. That is going to be a free Baron available to them. As now, Rascal Jester has no ability to contest the smite from the side of Sengoku Gaming. Yutori Maesh, now here, we see the teleport coming in from Oppum, and they're ready to take a fight if they so choose. Rascal Jester knows that they have nothing left. They have to take this fight. The bubble misses, and Rascal Jester does have the opportunity, but no dice, as Blank secures them the Baron, and now they can force the issue on this mid lane. Now they can group as 5, as Ninja finds himself sleeped up, ignited, burning him down, but Blank finds the kill with the flash Q. The execute comes through. Art looking to put a little bit of damage back onto him, but they're fetching the waves. They are looking for this mid lane turret, and with the death timers desynced like that, this may just be curtains. Opperman immediately going to that top lane to escort the waves, not grouping as 5 just yet. They know that they may not even need it for knocking down this mid lane turret. And once again, this feels like Rascal Jester is unable to just pick the fights they want. They're just constantly answering to what Sengoku is doing and not setting enough of the game pace themselves. And that is going to lose them a mid turret. Art almost losing his life from the Pyrian poke as the bubbles just come in, the paddle stars just come in and come just flying in like a shooting star, as now they knock down the top turret as well. They might be staying for the inhib, but it doesn't look like they're ready to contest. Home guards just bringing in the cavalry, as Rascal Jester manages to defend at least one of their inhibitors, while Sengoku Gaming opts to back. Watch the replay one more time. Hachimecha just doing his best to try and contest, try and get vision. He walks a little bit too close, and Blank manages to play just outside the sweeper range long enough. He does commit flash, but the ult still finds the snipe onto him, and Art commits his ult just to save Vivid. But at that point, the Baron is lost, and there's no coming back for the jungler of Rascal Jester.
瞬間でもありましたね。
戦国ゲーミングとしてはこれとないチャンス、それをしっかりとものにしましたね。
あとはこのバロンバフ残り40秒ほど。
And we can still see a lack of Sengoku Gaming. They don't want to group just yet, which is somewhat impressive. They have the Baron, so they can just keep Opperman in the top side, just, escorting those Baron-empowered waves. Knows that they cannot engage on the tanky Ornn, as now they knock down a bot turret as well.
ピリアンの使うこのゾーイのプレッシャーが重くのしかかる。ラスカルゼスターはこのボットのインヒビタータワー、インナータワーは諦めます。
Pyrian continuing just to throw spells out. Kaka getting sleeped up, but with 3 Merc Treads across the side of Rascal Jester, they will try to avoid staying still too long for the paddle stars to fly in.
残るこのボットのインヒビタータワーを狙いに行きます。戦国ゲーミング。
And now Rascal Jester is in a position where they need to take a fight, engaging onto Blank, but Blank manages to just ult him away, ult him back into the wall, and keep him stunned up. Doesn't even lose his GA for it, as Ninja limping away from Yutori Maesh with just low HP, barely surviving the Senna R, as now every member of Rascal Jester is limping away. Not enough HP to contest this turret, not enough manpower or fighting power to stop the onslaught that is Sengoku Gaming, just slowly walking these waves in, walking forward with these fights, with these spells, and Ninja getting chunked out again, not quite able to move forward far enough to contest. As now Sengoku Gaming is going to back out. They have two inhibitors down. They can walk down, they can pick up the soul, they can play it slow and just secure as many objectives as they need to knock down this game. They will be picking up the Mountain Soul as well for themselves. Doesn't look like Rascal Jester will be close enough to contest as the soul goes over to Sengoku Gaming. Ninja trying to just engage onto Opperman, trying to just find some damage, find anything, but it does not feel that Rascal Jester is currently able to. They have a 12k gold disadvantage. You can see that in the items coming across all members of all the members coming across from Sengoku Gaming. And as Rascal Jester tries to just secure themselves a bit more gold, you can already see teleports coming out from Pyrian, Opperman going in onto Hachimecha, but the Lantern is going to be able to get him to safety. But you wonder, how long is that safety going to last? The last inhibitor going down here as all 5 members of Sengoku Gaming stay grouped where they have the soul. They could wait for Baron, but they know at this point that there isn't a whole lot of objectives left to be taken. Pyrian is going to be able to get out while Hopperman stays within the Death Realm. It's just too tanky for Ninja to try and contest alone. And Cog, Zanya's up on the top side of the map. Hachimecha goes to try and keep members locked up, but is it going to be enough? We have Art flying in with a bullet time, doing as much damage as he can, but one by one, the members of Rascal Jester seem to be falling and not quite able to answer back. Opperman is the lowest member, but just not able to find the damage onto these key targets. Even when Hachimecha is able to push in and get that Cataclysm down, just the side of Rascal Jester in general is just too far behind to contest the amount of damage and not able to pose enough of their own from Sengoku Gaming as they march down the Nexus turrets. Very clean game from the side of Sengoku Gaming. Very slow paced. They don't overcommit anything. They don't force fights. They just take one objective after the next. They keep the poke up. Could be argued that they played slower than they needed to, but suppose the safety they took does end up netting them the win in the end, and does not offer a whole lot of room to answer from the side of Rascal Jester.
のが先行ゲーミングの強みでもありますね。その瞬間的なコミュニケーションのところではまだうまくいってない部分というのも見られるんですけれども。